Since when did you start hearing about farasi ni wawili wengine ni punda? How true could that be if it is indeed true? Have you heard about them saying that sisi ndio wadosi au ndio wafanyakazi? But how comes wenye kazi don't know how the work is being done? Where did you find an employer who knows nothing about the work that he has given someone to do for them? That it is the employee who seems to control the entire job, but the employer knows nothing, or they are never involved, they don't care. Have you ever heard them say that we have the best manifesto, but when it is time to manifest, they manifest other things? Now, this is where we are coming in, and we are the Penta writers. We are committed to lead by light and not by might. It's only in Kenya where if you want to become a leader, you must have lots of money, you must have a huge name, you must be this Mr. Big Man, big woman. But that is a wrong narrative. We have a better option. We want to challenge us that we are not just voters. Our work is not just voting, going under, watching news and saying how bad things are, but we are never involving ourselves. We are so used to what we call corporate social responsibility. But the question is, when do we make this a personal agenda? That the success of my county depends on me. Personal social responsibility. We have three areas where we are focusing in Penta writers, and number one is what we call conscious leadership. Leadership that comes from within, not because you want to be called a mheshimiwa or a big person. Leadership that involves emotions that you know it's not about you, it's not about maybe the money you make, it's about serving God's people. The next area that we focus on is what we call great governance, governing people with that greatness, excellence in every way. And the last area that we focus is what we call thriving communities, whether big or small, whether by tribe or by age, by race, we are thriving as a community.
Wazee, Twende Bora.
Twende Bora. Twende Bora.
Twende Bora. As a people, we have different ways of doing things. We have a team or a group that is very far much on the left. These are people who just believe in prayer and fasting. These are believers. These are Christians. They only do praying, fasting, but maybe they don't vote. They don't go in any forum to discuss about the agendas of the community. But we cannot end there. We cannot just be praying and fasting and not involving ourselves in the running of our counties. The second group that is far much on the right is the team we call those who do propaganda and feasting. These are now the politicians that they only deal with propaganda. Propaganda are lies, things which are not there, they are never factual, and they do feasting because when they do corruption, they feast on resources that are supposed to help us grow as a country. But we as Penta writers, we want to invite you to what we are calling policy and forward. Policy plus prayer, fasting, but then we want to invite ourselves. What makes a country grow is not just prayers, but involving ourselves in formulating the best policies that are going to support our youth, our women, our men, our every person. And we are talking about forward growth, being intentional, moving forward, everything about moving forward.
Wadau, twende bora. Hello, benefit. Wadau. Hello, benefit. Wadau.
Twende Bora.
At Penta we teach 5 areas of leadership. And we talk about lighting because we are the light of the world. God has given us the light to shine everywhere. There are 5 levels, starting with candle lights, torch lights, street lights, floodlights, and sunlight, the one we have today, right now. This is sunlight, it is natural, God-given. And you see, the first 4, they are man-made, meaning that someone can just put them off. And our emphasis is on the last one, sunlight. And the deeper meaning of sunlight is revelation, leading by light, not because you want to be, but because God has called you. That's important. The 5 areas of learning at Penta. Number 1, we call it nuisance level. Nuisance level is where people refuse to grow, refuse to participate, refuse to be better just because they are rebellious. And that is the normal nature of human being, rebellious. You are called for a meeting to discuss about your area, you don't want to go. But to discuss about issues in your country as if you're not part of that community. Number 2, ignorance. This is not a bad place because if you don't know, it's not a sin. It just means that you don't know. This is a good place to be because if you don't know how to be a leader, you can be shown how to be a leader. The third area is what we call academic level. Number 4 is called education. The final one is called revelation. This is where God gives you the way and the how. We have 5 areas of teaching and training citizens from East County, the nation of Kenya, and everywhere else we go. But before we go to the leaders, it starts with the citizens. Anytime you see a pedestrian citizen, be sure that they are going to produce pedestrian leaders. We have opportunistic citizens who produce opportunistic leaders. Then we have self-centered citizens who produce self-centered leaders. We have obligated citizens who produce obligated leaders. And finally, we have what we call purpose-driven citizens who produce purpose-driven leaders. It all begins with us, me and you, not them. So whatever is wrong with them, it must be wrong with us.
Wase, Twende Bora.
Hi, Twende Bora.
This is where we are inviting you. Karibuni sana, Twende Bora. County 050. Twende Bora, Kae Bora. Would you mind to join us today?